I hate to break it to you, but if you're waiting on a relationship to make you happy, you're missing the point. What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Christina J, here to empower you. In this video, I'll show you that being single is one of the best things that could ever happen to you. I'll show you how to embrace your independence, but also build a life that you love. No partner required. So make sure you hit that subscribe button for more empowering content like this, and let's get into it. Let's jump into Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. The first thing you need to know is that everything in life happens on God's timing, not yours. Therefore, if you're currently single, it's because God planned it that way, which means there is something that He wants you to learn or discover or accomplish right now. Whether it's having a complete focus on Him, learning to trust Him, allowing Him to heal you, or discovering your purpose. So stop wishing it away. There is great power and purpose in this season if you let it be. And as bad as you probably want it to change, it's not going to unless God says so. And that's a good thing. Trust me, a blessing before its time is a curse. What you sow in singleness, you'll reap in a relationship and/or marriage. How you treat yourself and approach your singleness is what will show up in your next relationship. Think about when you read an incredible book. I mean, a page turner, right? And the movie adaptation comes out. You can go to see the movie and you're like, man, this movie sucked. They missed the best parts of the book. They forgot crucial elements of the plot that were in the book, but not in the movie because the plot was rushed. The depth, the character development, and all those meaning moments that made the book so impactful weren't there in the movie, which caused the movie to just fall flat, like, ew. It just didn't hit. Your singleness is like the book. It's a season where you immerse yourself in the story that God is writing for your life. You experience the highs and lows, you learn from the challenges, but you also find joy in the moments that a lot of people overlook. It's what makes your story so rich and meaningful, setting the foundation for everything that follows. God is the ultimate author of not only your love story, but your life story. So let Him cook and give Him time to do so. Trust Him in this season to develop you, to teach you, and write a story worth living and sharing. The more time you give God to shape your journey, the more He'll turn your story into a blockbuster hit that leaves everyone, including yourself, in awe of His work. Like, y'all, look what God did for your girl. Marriage or a relationship won't fix you. It's not going to fill your spiritual voids. It will only magnify who you already are. If you're unhappy, insecure, and disconnected from God as a single person, those struggles won't vanish when you get into a relationship. Instead, they'll follow you, sometimes intensifying or putting strain on your relationship. Society loves to act like being single is a problem to solve. As soon as you tell someone you're single, they get into the, well, are you dating yet? And why are you single again this year? And so on and so forth. However, I want you to know that your life isn't on pause just because you're single. Think of your life as a cake, layered, flavorful, and a masterpiece on its own. And a man is like the sprinkles. Sure, the sprinkles add a little sparkle, but the cake is still fire without them. Sprinkles don't make the cake, they just add on to what's already there. So stop waiting for someone to complete you and instead build a life that is so full, so rich, and so fulfilling that when the time comes to share it with someone else, it's a blessing. Your life has just as much meaning right now as it would if you were in a relationship. Your worth and your purpose aren't tied to a relationship status. God doesn't withhold good things from His children, and He won't lose track of what's meant for you. He knows exactly where you are, so there's no need to obsess over the when, the where, and the who. When will I meet my partner? Where will I meet them? Who will it be? Let go of these questions and trust that God's timing is perfect. He hasn't forgot about you. He knows that you have a desire to be in a relationship and be married one day. And He will find you exactly where you are and bring everything to fruition in His perfect timing. And while you wait, I want you to think about this. Jesus, the ultimate example of a fulfilling life, accomplished incredible things as a single man. He transformed lives and healed the broken, performed many, many miracles. So imagine what God can do through you in this season if you surrender to Him and embrace the purpose He has for you right now. Your life is already meaningful and valuable, not because of who you're with, but because of who you are in Christ. It's girl, you are literally transforming. This season is all about you, not catering to someone else, but finally getting the opportunity to cater to yourself and your relationship with God. It's time to confront the real you and uncover the beauty within that others see so effortlessly. I used to hear things like, you're so beautiful and you're such a triple threat because I was smart, I was beautiful, and I was very active on campus. And I'd nod and smile, but deep down, I really couldn't see it for myself. This led me to rely on others to affirm who I was instead of asking the hard question of, why can't I see this for myself? That insecurity, it needed to be dealt with. And I'm dealing with it right now in my own single. This is your time of preparation, a season where God is growing, evolving, and transforming you into the person He's called you to be. He literally has your undivided attention right now. But transformation takes cooperation. You have to let God work in you and fully embrace the process, even when it's comfortable. And He can't do that if you're constantly focused on getting into another relationship and trying to run away from being single. Preparation always leads to greater results. Think about a farmer who plants seeds. The harvest doesn't come overnight. The ground has to be prepared. Then the seeds have to be planted. Then the seeds have to be watered and nurtured. The time and care invested determines the quality of the harvest. I'm gonna say it again. The time and care invested determines the quality of the harvest. In the same way, God is preparing you for a great thing, whether it's your future relationship, future career, or your calling. But the results you'll reap depend on how well you allow Him to prepare you right now. So embrace the beauty of the process and trust the process. Just because you've been single for a long time doesn't mean that you know yourself. The mistake I made was that I thought that being single automatically meant that I knew myself. And I think a lot of us make the mistake of thinking that time equals self-awareness, but that's false. It's not about how long you've been single, but what you've done with that time. When we get into relationships or even in the talking stages, we turn to the detective. We start stalking their Instagram, their Facebook, looking in the comments, trying to make sure no girls is throwing hard eyes in the comments, going through his followers, seeing who he knows, seeing who his friends are, and digging deep to basically learn everything about the person. We trying to know what we get in ourselves into, right? But how often do we turn that curiosity inward? Have you done the work to uncover who you really are? Have you given yourself that same energy? Let's start simple. What's your favorite color? Okay. Favorite restaurant? And how do you like to dress? Now let's take it a deep further. Have you exposed yourself to new experience in those areas? You might think that your favorite food is chicken wings and fries, but you've never had seafood. Have you tried different cuisines, explored different styles, or challenged your preferences to see what truly resonates with you? Because as humans, we are growing every single day. Our preferences when we were a kid probably are a lot different than what they are now. My point is that knowing yourself isn't just about having surface level answers. It's about intentional exploration, discovering what makes you tick, what makes you light up, and what God has uniquely placed inside of you. But also being your biggest cheerleader as you push the envelope on what you're capable of and the things that you can accomplish when it's just you and God. So use this season to get to know you. Dive into the depths of your likes, your dislikes, passions, and quirks. Because the more you know about yourself, the better equipped you'll be to not only love yourself, but show others how to love you as well. And to discern what you deserve when someone new enters your life. Because now you'll be choosing your partner out of want instead of out of need. Because a lot of people, they settle into a relationship because they simply don't like being alone. But since you've done the work to enjoy your own solitude, you won't be scared of being alone. And it makes walking away from things or people that don't serve your best interest a lot easier. Because you've put in the time to get to know yourself, but also enjoy your time alone. And this is important because when you don't take the time to do so, it's very easy for you to lose yourself in a relationship. You'll start taking on your partner's interests, their goals, etc., and making them your own, instead of finding things that make you feel fulfilled without that person in the picture. Now it's time for our steps for divine elevation, where I'm going to give you practical tips to implement what we learned today, i.e., building a life you love while being single. First is get to know God really well, because by knowing God really well, you get to know yourself really well because He is your creator. But also, until God is good enough for you, no one and nothing ever will be. Philippians 4:11-12 says, I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. Contentment is about living in God's sufficiency and letting Him fill every single void. When you build a strong relationship with Him now, you're setting the foundation for a life of peace, purpose, and fulfillment, no matter what season you're in. But also, God's love is unconditional and it's unchanging. If that's not good enough for you, what makes you think that being in a relationship with someone else, with people, when sometimes people can be very wishy-washy with their feelings? They'll hype you up one day and then the next day they're trying to cancel you. So the first step is, instead of focusing on who you're going to date next, I want you to focus on God instead. Set aside time to spend with Him daily. Attend and join a church regularly and get involved in your ministry so you can be around other believers and see what God is doing in their life, and to learn more about God in general. Stop obsessing of finding your dream guy and instead focus on becoming your own dream girl. Be your own body goals. Buy yourself a bouquet of flowers. Take yourself on that fancy date. Try that new activity that you want to do. Or go after your dream of becoming a CEO or whatever sets your soul on fire. I want you to ask yourself, what habits does my dream girl have? What hobbies does she enjoy? What are things that I've always wanted to do but never had the time to? Start small. Try that yoga class. Read that book. Spend quality time with your family and friends. Focus on becoming your best self that aligns with God's purpose, and the right person will complement, not complete, the amazing person that you've already become. Final tip is, take advantage of this opportunity. Somebody may come along and sweep you up off your feet tomorrow, but in that moment, your time for self-reflection, growth, and personal development will look a lot different. Time is our most precious resource because once it's gone, we can't get it back. So why waste this season longing for the next? Instead, embrace the gift of singleness. Yes, singleness is a gift. This is your season to heal, to grow, chase your passions, and deepen your relationship with God. But most importantly, it's an opportunity for you to create a life that you're excited to wake up to every single day. I think a big reason why sometimes we hate being alone is because we think that our life is boring. So now you have the opportunity to make it a life that you're excited to wake up to every day. 1 Corinthians 7:32-34 says, I would like you to be free from concern. An unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs, how he can please the Lord. This season is also a time for you to just go all in with God. Because when you're so focused on pursuing His will and becoming the best version of yourself, you won't even notice what's missing because your heart will already be overflowing. So I want you to remember that singleness isn't something to survive, but something to thrive in. You know that movie, I Can Do Bad All By Myself? Well, you can be great all by yourself. You don't need a partner for that. Be great with God, for God, and through God. Because not only is He the one who can elevate you to levels beyond what you could ever imagine, but He's the one we're living this life for. So take Him with you. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe and comment on what resonated with you the most. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Till next time, bye!